Adam, what's going on, man? So cool update here, and awesome that you actually got to get some experience in a powerlifting meet and take some token lifts. So if you ended up having some footage from that, excuse me, I'd love to take a look. But if not, totally cool, and that's awesome, actually. And is that your first experience in competition? I I don't think so. I feel like you've competed before, but I'd have to check um, the original application, stuff like that. So just be kind of easier if you told me. But that's really awesome, and it must have been a good atmosphere as well. So awesome stuff there. Uh, and awesome to see that food hasn't been a problem because weight has been so consistent right now and actually trending down on average that it's time for another bump up. And honestly, the more food we get in you during these tough volume blocks and leading up into intensity, the better off things are going to be. So, so yeah, with you hovering around 2600 right now, I think we need to go a little bit higher and probably make some changes. So here's what we're going to do, and this is kind of the change that we usually like to make at this point. So with an athlete going into a caloric surplus, it's no longer necessary to have a refeed day. So what we're going to do is average your 6 days total. So we have 270 normal carbs right now, and 6 days of that, and 1 day of 400, which puts you at 2,020 total carbs per week. Divide that by 7, and you're averaging roughly 290 per day if we throw the refeed in there. Now, what I'd like to do is just add an extra 10 grams of carbs per day on top of that and allow us to get accustomed to that for a little while before we continue. So, again, I am completely getting rid of the refeed. So we have 7 days of the same macros, and they're all going to be at 300 carbs. So let's run that for quite a while, see how that goes for you, and then go up if necessary. But I feel like that's gonna tide us over for quite a while. And again, we're looking for about a quarter to a half pound per week. That's a nice, slow, sustainable progress. As long as performance is matching, then hey, we're all going in the right direction. Now, training, you talk a little bit about early sessions, and I just had a conversation with another athlete about training at times that aren't ideal, and it sucks, but it happens. And the good news is your program is auto-regulated, so it's not like I'm telling you 90% no matter what. You got to hit 90%. What's nice is that it's auto-regulated, so on those days where you're under less than ideal circumstances, it's just natural that the weight on the bar is going to be a little bit lighter, and that's totally okay. We just know that we're getting out everything that we possibly can from that session, and you're able to push harder when you've got more rest and recovery, and you're training at more ideal times. So we make the best of things, and that's totally cool. Definitely, let's try to keep on track with mobility, and if there's anything I can do to keep you accountable on that end, whether it's put in a column on your tracking sheet to make sure that you're getting your mobility in, or or having you track on a separate mobility tab, all that is cool, and I can totally do that because if you need it for performance, then hey, we need it in there. Um, Technique looks spectacular. Your head is staying down in the bench press. Feet are nice and planted. Squats look great. Just super rigid and controlled. So no form corrections at all, really. Next time you get a chance to show me some deadlift, let's take a look at that. But a nice week so far, and kind of rolling with the punches of some things being less than optimal on a few of those days. Just a few more weeks here in volume, and really what we're trying to do in this block is just kind of make it through and make gains where possible, but just rack up a ton of volume. So I'm loving the number of back offsets you're getting. That's really, really cool. And if we looked at the total weekly volume, you're probably squatting in 16 sets or something like that, and you're probably taking an extra set before your top set load that looks pretty similar to your back offsets. So good news there. And again, we're going to be able to realize these gains in the intensity phase. So we're working on building work capacity right now, and I think we're working very well on that. Cool. As far as ankle mobility goes, and one foot being quite flat, there's a few things we can do on that. And I don't know a whole bunch about it as far as bone structure goes, but um, if ankle mobility and Achilles mobility is really what we need, then there's a few things we can do. One, we park your foot up against a wall and we work on stretching that out, just racking up as much time as possible. And for powerlifters, it may be the case that you need more load than what you can provide with just leaning up against a wall with your own body weight. In which case, what you can do is get in one of those seated calf extension machines and just load it up with more weight than you can normally do, and just kind of let the weight gradually push your heel down towards the floor and get some dorsiflexion that way. I think that would help as well. As well as, of course, traditional stretches. Um, and again, I think the key here is just frequency and getting it in more than, let's say, twice a week. So looking at around 3 times a week and around 10 minutes total each time. So that's the kind of thing that's really going to make some progress over a longer period of time and make it so that the changes aren't transient. There's something that stays for longer. So that's my advice on that, and if you need some videos or demonstrations on that, I can look some stuff up for you. But we're good with the macro changes and good with training and ready to keep going. I'll talk to you soon.